Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut. The novel Slaughterhouse-Five had been out for about 3 years before I discovered it. I was a sophomore in high school when it fell into my hands. In speech class, I sat next to a guy named Rodney, who was a couple of years older than me. Rodney was hip, went to all the cool concerts, and worked in the LP Goodbye record store. He was plugged into everything cool and provided me a gentle nudge away from the worldview I had inherited from my family. Rodney loaned me the book, Slaughterhouse-Five, an exceptionally appealing title to my 15-year-old self. Reading it had a more profound impact on my psyche than any other book I read in those formative years. It totally changed my concept of what literature was all about. Billy Pilgrim has become unstuck in time. Wow, what a terrific way to start a book. Billy goes through a shitstorm of traumatic events in the pages of Slaughterhouse-Five. He experiences the firebombing of Dresden during World War II, survives deprivation and violence to return home and become an optometrist. Billy's no hero. His most prominent personal qualities are acceptance and resilience. We all become unstuck in time, don't we? We relive the pleasures and pains of all our lives' experiences. Our first kiss, our professional achievements, the sting of harsh words. We not only live these things, but we relive them. We replay the movie of our lives over and over. Billy Pilgrim may relive his life's events in a more literal fashion than most of us, but we can all relate to his challenges and learn from his peaceful acceptance of it all. The version of the book I first read featured imagery from the movie George Roy Hill directed based on Vonnegut's book. The movie was very well received, and Vonnegut himself said it perfectly matched his own vision and that he drooled and cackled every time he watched it. I saw the movie as soon as it opened, and I thought it was okay, but I didn't find it perfectly match my vision of the story. I thought the movie needed a more stylized approach. I felt the scenes in which Billy's wife wrecks her car and dies were particularly lacking in inspiration. I cannot overstate what a profound impact Vonnegut's book had on me. I read it several times. I found echoes of Hindu, Buddhist, and New Age philosophy in the book. By the time I read Slaughterhouse-Five, more than a decade of good postmodern fiction had been written. I don't suppose Slaughterhouse-Five is the best of the bunch. It was just my first exposure to the sarcasm, dissidence, and whimsy of postmodern novels. The novels I had read previously in school were supportive of the culture and full of examples of how to be a good citizen. All that stuff was out the window in Slaughterhouse-Five. This book was clearly anti-war. I won't detail all of the interesting and bizarre occurrences that befall Billy Pilgrim. I want all of you to discover this amazing book for yourselves. Not only did I love Vonnegut's book as a reader, but his unique style made me want even more to be a writer myself. I felt like the bar had been raised, the mold had been broken, and the possibilities for fiction were much less limited than I had previously supposed. In the description of this channel, I've made a point of saying these reviews are personal. I feel it's important to express the impact these books have had on me as an individual. Part of my intent is to illustrate what a joyful adventure reading can be. In addition, I wish to make these books a real part of life as we experience it, rather than a subject for weary academics to endlessly flog. I have no doubt that my response to Slaughterhouse-Five would have been quite different had I discovered it after I became an adult and a parent. Sure, I would have liked it, but I know it would not have become a cornerstone of my worldview as it is now. I was at the perfect stage of my development to absorb and integrate Vonnegut's ideas, and I am so grateful that it happened that way. Slaughterhouse-Five receives my highest recommendation. If you have not read it, you are in for a real treat.